Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Sarah Garrigill, and I work with Living Archives, where we are collecting stories of how COVID-19 impacted various communities in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County. Today is October 19th, 2022, and this week there were 122 reported cases of COVID-19 in the Charlotte, Mecklenburg area, which shows a 41% decrease over the last 2 weeks. Therefore, Milton is comfortable not wearing a mask, but I myself am wearing one today. Would you introduce yourself, Milton?
Well, good evening. My name is Milton Baker. I am born in March 1952, March the 2nd. I live in a little town called Maysville, North Carolina. A lot of people never heard of it, but it's right outside of Camp Lejeune in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Population 788. I love it. Can anything good come out of the hood? Maysville.
Wow. How far is Maysville from Charlotte?
4.5 hours.
Okay.
Highway, I take and go travel Highway 74 straight out through Wilmington on the outer pass, and then 4.5 hours.
And you live, now you live in Charlotte?
I live in Charlotte, been in Charlotte since Hugo hit.
Okay.
I moved here the same month Hugo hit.
Wow.
And I've been here ever since.
Is that one of the reasons why you moved here, or was it a factor?
No, actually, I was living in Texas. I'm a military person.
Okay.
I stayed in the military for 13 years. Fort Hood, Texas, I got out, stayed there for 10 years, and then my wife decided, I should say, she wanted to come back home. Even though we moved to North Carolina, Charlotte is really not our home.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is our home.
Yeah.
And when we got here, Hugo hit. It wasn't anything new to me because being in Jacksonville, we right off the Atlantic Ocean. So it was constantly storms, hurricanes. Mm-hmm. So it didn't bother me, but the people's here, I seen them panic, get frustrated, clean the shelves out, no food, and I laughed at them because it was funny to me because I was used to it and they weren't. Yeah. So, but overall, since I've been here, it's been an awesome experience.
Yeah.
Being able to meet the people, seeing the transition of Charlotte grow from a small little town, a city, to a metro.
Yeah.
And it's still growing. Yeah. And I'm like, well, what you doing with the peoples? Mm. Well, you're putting the peoples. Mm-hmm. You're building the city, but you're forgetting the peoples. Mm-hmm. So that's who I am. I'm here, hoping to make an impact in somebody's life.
Well, you've seen a lot of transitions, I bet.
Yes.
Lots of transitions. And so you are retired from the military now,
I'm
correct?
retired, yes.
And are you, I know you're involved in your church.
Yes.
What is your role?
Well, I wear a lot of hats. I wear a lot of hats. I'm the president of the usher ministry. I'm over the transportation ministry. I sing with the Golden Gates. I sing with the men's choir. I minister, and I'm an evangelist. I go out into the hedges and highways and do the work God had called me to do. Yeah. And I do whatever my pastor had me to do to help him continue in the ministry. So I'm a little bit every here, there, and And then I had the senior ministry here, every Tuesday and Thursday. Then on Wednesdays, I go up to the daycare at university for an hour and do the ministry too.
Wow.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
And so at the daycare, what kind of ministry?
It's an adult daycare. The same thing I do here, actually, basically the same thing. I give them encouraging words. And today's encouraging word was, have God ever took his hands off you? We was talking about in Judges with Gideon, where the Israelites and God removed himself from them because of their disobedience and their rebellions. And as peoples, we do the same thing. We keep doing stuff, stumbling here and falling there and not trusting God until we need God. But it's nothing new. There's never been anything new under the sun because everything that we do is from old. It's just a recycle. People before us done it. We just might have put a twist on it and did it different, but it's still the same thing. Who do you really trust? Who do you believe? Why are you doing these things when you know better?
Yeah.
Because we always want to fix stuff ourselves
Yeah.
as people. I don't care who you are, we got that intention, I can do this, until we mess up, and then, Lord, can you help me? But God always sends somebody to get us back on track. And that's what we was talking about up there today. So, yeah, I love it.
That's powerful.
Love it.
So can you tell me, what was your experience like with COVID-19?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Being in that I am a veteran and who was a person loved to go and do, and to have one virus to shut down not just this country, but the whole net world. And I can't go nowhere because the information that we were receiving was so inaccurate, because nobody knew exactly what it was about or how it affected our lives or what we could do or what we couldn't do or how to go about protecting ourselves. And it set me even in a deeper depression than I was already in. Because being in a depression when you got disabilities and you can't really do everything you want to do, and now you got this on top of that. Now you got depression, you got what they call it, you can't function the way you want it. You got stress, you got anxiety, all that is building up, and having you to sit at home and you can't do nothing. And now I got to learn how to do virtual. And I'm not a computer whiz.
Yeah.
So I have to learn how to do everything virtual, even with my appointments and with my doctors and my physical therapists, and everything was virtual, and it was really hard for me. And then I couldn't see my kids, can't see my grandkids, because children 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, they ain't got no patience. So I will see them on the virtual site, but it was, hey, granddaddy, and they gone.
Yeah.
And that was messing with me a lot, and
Yeah.
it bothered me. But thank God that I had friends that would check on me, call me, and sort of encourage me, man, it's gonna be all right. And here I am, I'm thinking, yeah, it's gonna be all right, but something got to give. I can't keep doing this, just staying here looking at these walls all the time. Or when I go to the store, people's behind me not keeping the safe distance they supposed to, or when they cough, they not covering their mouth, or they walking right up on you and talking about with no mask on, and chaos is in the stores and stuff, and then you trying to make sure you doing the right thing, but everybody other than you, or so many of them, I say not everybody, but most of them are like, it ain't real. I don't believe it. And folks dying every day. I mean, not just one or two, I mean in the thousands a day. And so that was like a moment of fear.
Fear?
Yeah, that was a moment of fear. Because if you caught a cold, you didn't know the difference between the cold and the virus. And then if your chest was tight, you didn't know if you had the virus. So, you know, it was a lot of uncomfortable moments in my life during that time, and I didn't know exactly what to do, so I prayed a lot.
Yeah.
And I prayed a lot, and I trusted God, and everywhere you see me, I had a mask on. And I'm still wearing it because this thing is not done yet. And with the underlying conditions that I have, you know, diabetes, blood pressure, cancer survival, I can't put myself in harm's way like that. So
Yeah.
I try to stay, focused,
Yeah.
trusting that, you know, I'm doing what's right, and hopefully the people I be around will do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really been, I can't even find the word for it. A tough time.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's really been a tough time. Even at 9, and plus, anyway, I can't work because I'm what they call unemployable, so I can't work.
Okay.
And then on top of all this other stuff, yeah. When I go to the doctor, that's you all right? I say, well, day by day.
Yeah.
That's all I can do, day by day. I can't change nothing, but I can change the way I approach it.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it. I have been doing the right things to keep myself safe.
Yeah. So what kind of changes were those? You wear a mask?
I wear a mask. I keep my social distance. I try to go to the store at certain times when I know everybody else done basically gone.
Yeah.
So I try to catch it early in the morning or right after lunch. Because most of the time you got a lot of workers that comes to the stores at lunchtime. So I wait till all that's, so 2 o'clock I'm at the store. And it's pretty empty most of the time.
Okay.
You know, you figure a store big as Walmart is at 2 o'clock during the week, you really don't see a lot of people. But if you go there between 11 and 12, it's packed.
Yeah.
Because everybody trying to buy something to eat and hurry up to go in and get out. And so, you know, just trying to change the surroundings I'm at and the things I do and the way I do it. Instead of, when I used to, I would just go. Now it's like precautions. You know, okay, sit in my car sometime at the store and just look. Okay, it don't look like too many coming out, so it must be all right. So it's a lot of guesswork involved, but a lot of trust in God at the same time. So then I go in, and if I see a lot of people's in there, I take different routes in the store to make sure I ain't running into a bunch of peoples or people just gathered standing there with no masks on. Cause that's what we in now. We are right now in a time of uncertainty, and a lot of people still think it's all right to be just crowded up, and it's not all right. Cause this, like you said, on your 127 or something like that for us.
122.
Today, I mean yesterday.
This week.
Yeah, this week in Mecklenburg County. So that means to me, even though it's going down, it still haven't gone.
Yeah,
So-
it is decreasing, but like you said, it's not exterminated. It's
Right.
not gone. It's not
Right.
extinct. So
And one other thing,
yeah,
I took all my shots. So I got the two regular shots, and then the 2 boosters.
okay.
So I'm trying to cover myself on all angles. Then I went and got my flu shot the other day. So, you know, I'm trying to make sure
You're staying up on that.
I'm trying to make sure I'm careful, because I don't know who gonna be around,
Yeah.
and my immune system already weak.
Yeah.
So
Did you feel like when the vaccine came out, it was an answer to some of that anxiety you were feeling? Or what was your feelings in that?
actually, when the vaccine came out, I was somewhat confident that it would help.
Okay.
But it still wouldn't help my anxiety or depression, because a lot of my anxiety and depression come from my pain. You know, my degenerated disc, muscle spasm, arthritis in the spine, pinched nerve in the shoulders. That's a lot of uncomfort I have, and I can't, like I say, I can't do what I want to.
Yeah.
So that's where most of it come from. But then with that on top of it, it didn't help nothing. So when they said the shot, I said, let me know when it is, I'm going. Even though people was back and forth, I don't trust it and all that, and I'm thinking, when you went to school, you took shots before you went to school, you didn't know what was in it. So, and plus, being ex-military, we always know that the government always working on some kind of shot or some kind of, what they call it, some chemical to help fight germs.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
And this thing was being worked on 8 years before it happened.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I take it. But before I took it, they already had, I think it was 10,000 other people that already took it. And it didn't take them out. So I think it was 1 out of every 1,000 might have got arm hurt or broke out. What's the odds?
Yeah, so you felt like the risk you felt like it was supportive.
It was very supportive, and I was in line.
Yeah.
And I said, when I got to go back for the second one, I'll be there. So, and I'm always been a person that if medicine can help me to get better, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. And I love that, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know we did have those brief few weeks of lockdown in March, I believe. What was that like for you? Were you alone? Were you with your wife? Or what was that like for you?
At the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Well, when the pandemic hit, like I said, here I go again, being a military vet, and I keep up with a lot of news.
Okay.
Actually, the pandemic hit it in October of 19. We didn't find out until March. Was it March?
March 2020.
Yeah, but it happened in October.
Okay.
I get military pop-ups, so I know.
Yeah.
And I wasn't too much worried about it right then, but when it went into lockdown in March, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll go to the store and get me a few items just so I have at the house. And I walked to the store and the whole store empty.
I bet.
And I'm like, y'all didn't know y'all need no milk? You know, it's funny, but it was true.
Yeah.
The bread's gone, the milk's gone, the paper towel's gone, the toilet paper gone, no hand sanitizer, no Lysol, no nothing. I'm like, really, man? To us in America, it was a disaster. But most peoples around the world, foreign countries, it was just another disease, another virus, because it happens so much around the world. It never gets to America because we got scientists in place that will stop this kind of stuff, but at this time, they didn't happen.
Okay.
So when it did lock down, I'm like, okay, let me grab what I can. I got stuff at the house. I have stuff at the house, so I just grab me some knickknacks and get my cookies and ice cream, and I'm going back home. Wait a week. And then they said, well, we can't get nothing in. all the stuff on the ocean can't come in. I'm like, okay, Lord, you know we in need here. So I started praying. Me and my wife, she was working at the church. And I tell her, I said, don't worry about it. You just go because you're there by yourself. You ain't got to worry about nobody. When they come, you talk to them through the door. Don't open that door and let nobody in, especially if they ain't got no mask on and you don't know them. So she been good. So she been doing that for the last, 2 years and 6 months maybe. But overall, when the lockdown happened, it was more for me, what is it that I need to survive, family-wise? Food, toilet paper, you know, odds and ends, because I know I couldn't do too much no way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so now that we've transitioned to less restrictions, and what does it feel like for you now? Do you still kind of isolate yourself a little bit to your home and just the grocery store or to church, or do you feel free to kind of go out to the community?
I'm still in the isolation, because like I said before, stated before, it's a lot of people still don't understand what's really going on. They understand, but they don't care. I'll put it that way. And for me, I still like go to the grocery store, get what I need, do my thing with the seniors, and I know all my seniors got shots, and I know up there they got shots, and then I go home.
Yeah.
Because when I finish with you, I'm going back home. And then when church come, I come to church, I have a mask on, everybody in the church wear the mask, and then I go home. So, yeah.
So it's still kind of your routine.
That's my routine, yeah.
I know you mentioned you have some medical struggles, some disabilities. How were those impacted? Were you able to get the care that you needed?
Through the VA, I was.
Okay.
Because they were setting up appointments, and it was by schedule only.
Okay.
You couldn't just walk in.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a big problem. And they would send me, text me, let me know what it was. I'll say, okay, I can make it that day. And then they'll say, if you got any coughing or feel like you fatigued or you got, so when you went over, you went in, and when you walked in there, it was like a ghost town. It's like where everybody at, you know, because they had to do that.
Yeah.
Because there was so many veterans that was catching the virus.
Yeah.
And they was going over there making their staff sick. So they had to go back and cut back, and which was good for me, because like I said, with my underlying condition, it's you know, you walk down the hall and somebody doesn't sneeze, they ain't covering their mouth or nothing, and the germs and you walk right through the germs because you don't really see them, and now you feeling like, hey, I feel a little bad right now. Now you're trying to figure out where did I go to get this, you know. So, but overall, VA took care, I believe, not just me, but all the vets the same way, if they followed the right rules and the right roles. So, you know, and then they test you. That's where I got all my stuff from. My shots and everything was from the VA. So they would test you and they would check you and they would Zoom you. And, you know, since I had learned to Zoom, they would Zoom you and say, okay, we're checking on you to make sure da-da-da.
Yeah.
And so that worked out really good. And it's still working out good because all my appointments, the good thing about it, I can set my own time. Because they ask you what time and what date you want to come. So that works out for me. Yeah.
You said that you had to learn a lot of technology.
A lot of
everything.
Yes.
Was there anybody that helped you, or did
My
you
wife.
do it? Okay.
My wife, she loved that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and then she get mad with me too, and she would hit me, y'all, because I wasn't picking up fast enough. But once I learned, it wasn't no big thing, you know.
Yeah.
And the VA will send us a link, and all we had to do is click on it, put in your information, and wait. And they would do the worst of it. They would hook up everything. But then when you do the church link, it was the same way. But then when you're trying to get in on, the pastor had to preach for what, about 2 years by himself? Nobody in the congregation, just him. And then you got to zoom in and catch it.
Yeah.
And it was like I had a hard time trying to do that, but finally learned how. And that helped me a lot. Yeah.
How long was, because I know your church is such a strength for this community and for your life. How long was the church closed down?
I want to say about 18 months.
Wow. So when did the church start to open their doors again to do?
July
of this year?
of
Or
last
2021?
Last year.
2021, okay.
Yeah.
So how has that year been for you? Because I know you're very involved.
Well, what I would do, I made a lot of phone calls.
Okay.
Yeah. I would call people, check on them, sick and shit, and those that was older than me, those that were younger than me that I knew was struggling, I would try to help them, and that would help me because I wasn't just sitting there looking at the walls.
Yeah.
I had somebody I could talk to and listen to their issues and tell them my issues, so we was helping each other. It was, you know, one of them things back and forth like that. But most of the seniors that was sick, I would call them, and they were glad to hear my voice, and I would talk to them and let them know everything would be all right. Even though I was struggling, I still would reach out, and that helped me to let me know, okay, you're doing a good thing. I'm gonna keep you. You keep checking on them. And like I said, I send texts out every morning. Inspiration.
Yeah.
You know, and when I don't send one out, I get a phone call. What's wrong with you?
It's out of the norm.
Yeah. Nothing. I didn't get my message this morning. Oh, I thought I did send it. So, you know, it had come like, it's like, to me, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a gift. And then it's a willingness on my part to do it. Because when you do this, you just can't do it and shut down. Start today and quit tomorrow, or do it for a week and quit. And, you know, once people start to liking it, I've been doing it now for over 5 years, sending scriptures out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And it's become like a daily habit for you.
Yeah.
That's
So.
amazing. I bet so many are encouraged by that.
Yes.
Do you feel like once the church opened their doors, did people feel safe and ready to come back, or was it kind of a slow transition?
It's more of it's still a slow transition. You might have 100 or more this Sunday, 80-something the next Sunday, 100 or more, you know, so it depends.
It fluctuates often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the church haven't really, for its personnels, haven't got back to where we normally would be.
Okay.
Most of them now is watching it on Zoom. I mean on live screen.
So you still offer that?
Yeah, we got it's still, they can go on YouTube and check the services of how it's going on.
Okay.
So That is there. But like I always tell people, ain't nothing like fellowship. Come on in, y'all. Come on in.
Yeah.
You're going to be all right.
Yeah. What do you think are some long-lasting consequences from the pandemic?
People, for me, I believe they won't trust the government to tell them the truth when stuff happens. Because of so many inconsistencies at the beginning. And when the government can't get it right, they really don't know which way to turn.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, the long-lasting effect from the virus, what are you really doing to help yourself? You can't sit at home all the time. You can't be fearful all the time. You got to put your trust in somebody. And it can't be man. So my thing is, get to know God. Because when push comes to shove, man can only tell you and do so much for you. So you got to have a higher calling and someone you can really trust to get you through. Because when you're struggling at home and hurting from this virus, if you had the virus, they say it's going to be with you forever. They say.
Yeah.
So I don't know the effects of it because I never had it, thank God, I haven't. But then those that have, they still coughing, they still sneezing, and they still tell me I'm sick from it. I'm like, okay, it's got to be something else that you're not doing that's causing you to feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
How was your immune system before this happened? Was you taking your vitamins? Like, it's so much, I look at it and I'm like, okay, you don't want to take vitamins, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. You get a cold just by walking outside, soon the weather change. You got a problem already.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing to strengthen your immune system? And what are you doing when it comes to you being unprepared? Who is you calling on?
Yeah.
So I always say, you got to look at yourself first and see what it is. I know I need to take vitamins, vitamin D and vitamin C to help me. Mm-hmm. But I'll go buy something else other than that. And then when it hits you, I believe this country right now, since that pandemic happened, a lot of people is buying different vitamins. They going through the health stores and figuring out what they really need. They get the natural herb, not the one with all the chemicals in it, the natural herb. And that's what I do, a lot of natural herbs, and it helps me. So just stay and focus on what it is you want out of this and what have you learned from this, I think is one of the biggest aspect of life. Mm. Did you learn anything? Or you just took it as, oh well. But then you look across from your kitchen table, or your friend is gone, or mother's gone, or your brother passed. Did anything go off in your head? So, prayerfully.
That is a good word.
Yeah.
Something very true that we have to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like now you're able to see your grandkids more often, or your kids, or is it you're still kind of being very cautious?
I haven't seen them yet.
Okay.
But hopefully Thanksgiving, I'll see them.
Oh, that's so exciting.
I can sit there and watch them play because they 5 and 6. And they wanted to move in with me. I'm like, I ain't got that energy, y'all. I'm like, y'all stay with your grandmama. Your grandmama way younger than me. You stay with her. So, but yeah, hopefully, when I do talk to them on the phone and stuff, because I told them don't put me on Zoom with them no more because they don't stand there but that long, they gone.
Yeah.
So we'll talk for a few minutes. Granddaddy, we coming to see you, don't you? And I say, when? I don't know, wait a minute, Grandmama, when we... And so they say they come in Thanksgiving, so
Aww.
I get a chance to hug on them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do they live in Charlotte, or they live...
Raleigh.
In Raleigh.
They in
okay.
Raleigh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a hike.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. Thanksgiving's only a month away.
Yeah, it's 3 boys
3 boys.
in Raleigh.
Wow.
But I got 11
You have 11 children?
grandchildren.
Grandchildren. Wow, that's amazing.
11 grand and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 great grands.
Wow. Milton, you have an incredible family.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love them. Even though sometimes they get on my nerves, though. You might have to edit that. But it's all good.
Yeah, don't they all though? If they don't get on your nerves, then we're not. It's family. It's all part
that's
of it.
true. That's true.
Oh man. Well, I want to respect and honor your time, so I'm going to have one more question for you.
Okay.
Do you have any additional stories or experiences that you wanted to share before we end?
Yes. For those who don't know God, don't be like I was, hard-headed, didn't want to listen, wanted to do everything my way until I fell in a pit. Ended up with cancer. If I didn't know who God was and people's praying for me, I don't know if I'd still be here today. So if you get the opportunity in your life, find you a church, a faith-based church, one that you know can feed you the word and you can live by it. And give your life to Christ. Because right now, people are leaving here every day, and nobody know why. Unexpected crime, shootings, robbing. And it's not because they don't know no better, because they don't know who God is. God bless you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Milton. I really appreciate it and so thankful for your time today.
Yes, appreciate it. I wanted to do this. I'm like, okay, just get me to talking. I'll be all right.